Hello, everyone. Thanks for watching Betting Sports Better. I'm your host, the Sports Boss. Great show coming up. We're going to highlight a little bit about the Jets, Zach Wilson, what's going on in NFL with some of the roughing passers calls. Tennessee, Alabama this week. Game day's back in Tennessee. Great matchup. Texas A&M, Alabama this week. A little bit of a shocker, a little bit closer than what we thought. We're going to highlight a little bit of San Francisco, where they're staying on the East Coast at the Greenbrier Resort, what their record is when that happens. Talk about Atlanta, perfect 5-0 against the spread. Talk about the Cowboys. How about them boys in that defense? Philly and Philadelphia Eagles. That's what game's going on Sunday night. We're going to highlight a little bit about that. We're going to take a break right now. We got some special guests. As always, stay tuned. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Betting Sports Better. I'm your host, the Sports Boss. Next to me, I've got Zach the Mac. Zach, what's happening, man?
Oh, man, it's a happy Tuesday. How are you doing, bud?
I can't complain. Great week in football, man. What'd you think? What was your take on some college games?
It was exciting. It's starting to separate the pretenders from the contenders, and I'm excited to see where these teams keep trending.
Nice, nice. What's the game that stands out to you this week?
Ooh, I'm really excited for this OK State TCU. You got a battle of undefeateds right now back out there in the Big 12. Both teams coming off solid wins, but this is really going to put them in the conversation. Who gets that conference championship crown?
Nice, nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the Michigan's hosting Penn State. I think Michigan's laying 7. I think that's going to be an interesting game. And then I think I heard you talking earlier. What is it? The Tennessee is hosting Alabama.
Oh yeah. Friendly team from Alabama. Roll Tide, all that stuff. So Tennessee's going to have to play. They have to play strong. They got to play solid, clean football, and you have to do that against the Nick Saban coach squad.
Nice. What was your take this weekend with some of the calls? Roughing the passer. Everybody saw the Tom Brady Atlanta game. That was kind of, and then even last night, the Monday night game, Raiders got away with one. Carr gets sacked, the ball comes out. I'm a big Raiders fan, but I didn't agree with that. I definitely didn't agree with the Tampa Bay roughing the passer tackle.
Not at all. Well, I mean, when what's his name? Patrick Mahomes gets taken down like that, it's a fine. It's a good tackle on the quarterback. But if Tom Brady does it, it's a flag. Plus, I've never seen a roughing the passer call when the defensive tackle is holding the football. It's bizarre to me. So NFL's got to take a look at that.
Yeah, I believe over the summer when they meet, they're going to have to make it so a roughing the passer is reviewable. It's the only way. Otherwise, we're going to start going 7-on-7 and having flag football. I think to recap last week, we gave out for our members, we gave out 4 picks. We went 4-0. That was outstanding. Some of the games you highlighted on were definitely worth watching. Going into this week, give me a take on one of your standout NFL games.
See, we were talking about it earlier, and I'm the one that's flying under the radar. The New York Giants sitting at an amazing 4-1, which I didn't see this coming, versus the Baltimore Ravens, led by Lamar Jackson. He's supplanting himself as the MVP so far, and if he continues doing this, he will be the MVP of the league. But he's got to get some help. I mean, J.K. Dobbins is a beast, and I'm happy for him to be back off of the injuries he's been experiencing, but he needs a receiver to step up. I like their receiver, Devin Duvernay. He's a cool guy, gadget player, can hit some speed and take the top off of defense, but he needs help. Lamar Jackson just needs help. And Brian Daboll, early pick for Coach of the Year. All I'm thinking in my head right now is him being jacked up, screaming, coming off the field of getting a win over the Packers in London.
Nice. Yeah, that was really cool. I think that's what they needed, a big boost like that. Primetime game. It was the only game on at 9:30 in the morning. It did take place in London, but a win, that was huge. That was huge. Saquon Barkley's comments after the game fit the script. I'd like to put a little highlight on the Jets. Jets, Jets. Zach Wilson coming back off the injury. Just amazing. BYU grad. Second pick on the first round last year. The Jets are poised, We've given them out to our members 3 times, catching points. They won outright every time. The Jets are the real deal. They're putting something together. This week, I think in NFL, there's 2 games that stand out as far as platform games. That's the Cowboys at Philly for the late game, and then I believe the Bills at Kansas City for a 1:00 game. Right now, what's your take on those 2 games, Zach?
Jalen Hurts needs to keep playing the way he's playing. He's got all of his skill players buying in. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins. They're playing great football. And Miles Sanders out of the backfield is a great compliment. But look out for Micah Parsons. The dude he's just a machine coming off the edge. He's getting better and better. I'm getting flashes of Bruce Smith in my head. Interdivision rival and all. But the Cowboys defense, Dan Quinn's going to get a head coaching job here soon. I mean, maybe look out for him in Carolina. I don't know. They need some help down there, especially separating with Matt Rule. But that game's going to be really interesting to watch. Can Philly put up or shut up against a division rival, 5-0 versus 4-1, and then heading over to the Bills and Chiefs? This is a revenge game for Josh Allen. That chip is solely on his shoulder because of what the Chiefs did last year.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's going to be a slugfest, the Dallas and Philly game. I really think the Bills they haven't rested one night since last year without thinking Kansas City. So hopefully they don't get too excited and too pumped up for the moment, because a big platform, some people can prepare a little too much and then drop the ball. But so far right now, the Bills do have a injury prone. Kansas City looked sharp last night against a good Raiders team. They came back like they always do. It seems like they were down 10 points at halftime. No stress, no mess. Hit Kelsey over the middle, Kelsey in the end zone, Kelsey here, Kelsey there. I can't wait to watch that game, and I think it's going to boil down to coaching and play calling. Game day's back at Tennessee for this second time in 3 weeks for that Bama game we were just speaking of. Bama's laying, I think, 7.5. That's a lot of points coming off such a close game at Texas A&M.
It is, and I think what's really driving that is if Bryce Young will be available to play. If not, the backup will be ready to go, but Bryce Young will certainly increase your chances to get that W.
Nice. Atlanta Falcons, just to let everybody know, Atlanta Falcons going into Week 6 is 5-0 against the spread. Not saying that they've won every game, but if you're betting on Atlanta Falcons, you haven't lost yet with the points. The against the spread record's 5-0. Dallas is right there underneath them. If you're taking Dallas in the points so far since the season started, you're going to the window cashing tickets. I look forward to this weekend's college game. Like I said, the Michigan-Penn State. Obviously, I want to watch the Tennessee-Alabama. Game day is going to be there. There's a lot of hype on that. Zach mentioned, I believe, the TCU-Oak State game's got a lot of interest. Zach, let me ask you a question. With the committee, if they were meeting tomorrow for some of the playoff teams and you had to put somebody in right now, what's one team that's definitely going to the playoffs?
Oh, it's Georgia. Georgia's able to retake that number one spot. They had a very convincing win over an SEC opponent. And every week, the playoff committee is going to look at, are you crushing your opponent? It's not, are you winning closely? Are you just getting that W? But you have to simply obliterate your opponent in order to keep yourself separating from the rest of the pack.
Nice. Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine this morning, and I was telling him already, I think it's, November 26th, Michigan, Ohio State. I remember last year's game like it was yesterday. Ohio State's always had their number. I was heavy on Michigan. It came out with the outright win. And, I look forward to that game, even though it's weeks away. And by no means am I overlooking how great of a matchup it's going to be this week in the Big House against Penn State. But, Ohio State's definitely got them circled, and Michigan's definitely got them on their calendar as well. Moving on to NFL, Zach, who's a team that you have no problems pushing all the way to the playoffs right now?
Right now, sticking with the popular pick we've been talking about all season, but it's the Bills. They're playing possessed. They're starting to show why champions separate themselves from everyone else, not just playoff teams, but actual champions. They'll be able to survive and overcome the injury bugs and the randoms that come with the NFL season. Their secondary is decimated, but they're planning to get a couple guys back. But that defensive front is very much stout, and Josh Allen is very much in control of whatever opponent they play.
Nice. Another game that was kind of have you scratching your head, and definitely the people watching and those out there in the betting world, it's a trap game kind of. Oklahoma's at home. They're hosting Kansas. Kansas has been doing great. They lost to TCU by 7 last week. Oklahoma has been getting just doused. I mean, it's been a dumpster fire. But for some reason, Oklahoma's given 8 at home to Kansas. What do you think about that?
I think this is based purely on history and what Oklahoma has been in the past. They've had exciting electric quarterback play from Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Caleb Williams, Spencer Rattler, but this is a very much different team with a different coach who's still trying to get his footing for the first year. No disrespect to Brent Venables. He's put together some amazing teams helping out Dabo Swinney at Clemson in years past, getting a couple championships out of it. So I think take time. There's always going to be that valley before a peak comes again, but being able to get your footing, get that talent built up and coach the right way so you can bounce back. But certainly losing to Texas, your rival, 49-0 doesn't help.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead with one of my endings and put it out there. Carolina Panthers is on the road playing the Rams in SoFi. Panthers are getting 11 points right now. I've got a big lean on that game, and I think it's going to be a shocking outcome when everybody wakes up Monday and sees the score of that game. What's one of your wrap-ups, Zach, for the week?
You know, I want to see if the Giants can keep this up. They're a surprise team. I think it was a consensus around the league and a lot of, folks like myself that they're going to be one of the worst teams this year. But they're showing that they've bought into Dan Campbell's message, which I wish my Lions would do that, where they can buy in and tough games out. It's a W is a W, pretty, ugly, classy. However, a W is a W. Each week is not guaranteed. You have to go 1-0 each week in this league in order to prove that you belong.
Nice. Yeah, you're only as good as your last envelope. Last week's picks that we gave out, week 1, week 2, last week was week 5. You're only as good as your last envelope. Remember, good teams win, great teams cover. Remember, if you're at a loss, watch the Sports Boss. Tune in to win.